All right. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the More Listings Mastermind, a real estate podcast. We're a weekly real estate podcast where power, growth, and momentum, that is the name of the game for us. And yes, you guessed it, a place that you as an agent can come to talk about getting more listings. That's kind of what it's all about, in my opinion. We got a great lineup for you today, and I can't wait to get started. More Listings Mastermind is it's where agents, I've created this, and I want agents to be able to come to when they want to put on their I want more listings hat. This is where you come. Each week we have proven systems with win more listings. Whether it's FSBOs, expires, pre-foreclosures, working with attorneys, we're going to that too. We want to generate offers really quickly. My philosophy is highest and best price, shortest amount of time, least amount of liability, hassle, and expense. Cash offers has a huge role to play in that. Fast offers. Nobody has ever told me, Robert, take forever to sell my home. We're going to go into how we act, quickly, move quickly. We're going to maximize the seller's profits, which is really important, but we're going to work smarter, not harder. I can honestly say my whole career, I've always worked harder than I needed to. And I'm doing everything I can to be as more systematic as possible. And that's my goal is to, I gotta be honest with you, these masterminds were built for me because I want to surround myself with the top industry experts. And that's why we do this call. Save the date. Every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, we meet here live via Zoom. MoreNowListings.com. Cool? All right, let's go. Let's rock and roll. So anyway, I'm going to introduce you to our guest, and we'll bring him on in just a moment. We have some housekeeping to do. But today's topic, 2026 agent breakthrough topic, is taking more listings using cash offers. Joe will probably tell me what the exact number is, but I can tell you this. A very large percentage of sellers that I speak to every day, FSBOs, expireds, pre-foreclosures, that's kind of where I do most of my work. I work with attorneys and circle of influence, but most of my work is FSBO and expireds. A very high percentage of them want a cash offer until they see the cash offer. Most everybody thinks they want a cash offer because Open Door and OfferPath, they've done a great job marketing. Oh, yeah, cash offer, and we'll move for you. So we're going to go into that. We're going to talk about how cash offers will help you win more listings, how the seller psychology behind cash. Okay, everybody thinks they want cash. Structuring cash offer conversations, getting the conversation started. That's really the starting point. If you have a seller that wants a cash offer and you don't have that access to a cash offer, you are no longer in the conversation. I guarantee it. We're going to show you how to use cash offers to create competitive advantage. And Joe is going to bust out his live playbook. We have some really good stuff to share, and we're going to go over a whole bunch more. So with that said, who am I? My name is Robert Weichelt. I am the host of the More Listings Mastermind podcast. Each week we meet every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. I've been in the business since 1986. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that because this gray is real. February 14th, 1986, I stepped foot in my first real estate, activity. I went to a Tommy Hopkins seminar. If everyone's ever heard of Tommy Hopkins, he's old school. My point is, I've had the privilege of helping thousands of sellers, countless agents achieve success in any type of market. I'm a broker, trainer, mentor. My mission is simple, guys. Empower others to grow. That's why I put this mastermind together. I want them to win, and I want them to lead with purpose. I specialize in personally helping agents take more now listings. We're going to show you how to take more future listings, but I also want to introduce you to how to take now listings, folks with their hands up, FSBO expired, pre-foreclosure. We're going to position you for the default market as it starts to rear its ugly head, and it certainly will. So with that said, we're going to get started. I always like to start off with this quote. This is my favorite quote in the whole world. My dad told me this literally my first day in the business. I met with him the night before I was supposed to start my first day in a real job. I went to college. I've had little jobs here. I drove limos. I worked at the car wash. My point is, I'm going into my first real gig, and I'm sitting down with my dad. And he goes, the only place success comes before work, Bobby, is in the dictionary. That's what he called me. And that stuck with me my whole career. And True. Everybody wants success, but they're not willing to roll up their sleeves and make it happen. That's Vince Lombardi. I still have the accessories in my office. You know, back in the day, we go to accessories, we get those plaques. So it's fun. Here, let's go into 5 habits we need to do. This is what I call the Tom Brady effect. Tom Brady didn't win, what, 7 Super Bowls by just showing up on Sunday. There was a lot of practice, a lot of things that he did consistently, time in, time in, again, over and over and over. And most agents don't want to do all the work that it takes to get there. They want to stretch. They just want to go to the gym one day and come out and be a bodybuilder. These are the 5 habits we need to grow our real estate business starting today. These are reminders for most of you. Number 1, lead generation, no exceptions. Block out 90 minutes every day of focused prospecting. We must prospect, period. Whether it's doing it social media, whether it's doing AI, I don't care what you're doing. We need to prospect. We need to let everybody know what it is we're doing and how we can help them. Number 2, we got to track and measure the numbers. We got to make sure what we're doing is working. If you're making 100 calls, making no appointments, we might want to tweak your scripts. You got to set appointments daily. A day without a seller appointment is certainly a red flag in your business. A buyer or a seller appointment, without that, you need to be concerned. Number 4, follow-up. Like a pro. You've heard of the fortune is in the follow-up. 80% of conversions happen in the follow-up. Very few say, oh my God, thank you for calling. Yes, let's list you today. No, it's not. That's not how it works. We need to sharpen your skills. Number 5, role play, study scripts, watch top agent content. Really dive into your business and ask yourself this one last question. And I promise I'm almost finished. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. I truly think you're going to thank yourself for jumping onto this call. We've got a great guest, and I cannot wait to share it with you. I want to show you real quick before we get started who I use to get my FSBOs, my expired, and my pre-foreclosures. My Plus Leads, it's been the best tool for me. Sure, there's others, but this is what works for me. And that's what all today is about, is sharing with you what's working for me. FSBOs already have their hands up. Expired are the best because usually they didn't throw their home on the market just for fun. They just didn't start out properly. This pricing strategy is usually what the problem was. That's why I like them. And of course, pre-foreclosures feels good to help folks not lose their home through foreclosures. I don't want anyone to lose their home. However, if they do, very high percentage do, they go back to the bank and work with the banks. I'll drop a link in the chat box here a little bit later, but definitely check into My Plus Leads. This is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about instant cash offers, interactive home evaluation tools, built-in lead generation and marketing tools, landing pages, plug and play. Whew, it's going to blow your mind. I cannot wait to share it with you. But I have a question for you. Ask yourself, go back to your listings, your previous listing. What kind of views are you getting? Because pricing strategy matters. We need to drive as many views. The reason why I point this out is because we want to make sure we're driving as many eyes to that home as possible. 14 days, we drove just under 9,000 views and almost 800 saves. The saves equate to open house traffic, guys. Also, it serves as a CRM, and your information on your property gets sent to 789 people on a regular basis. So keep that in mind. We need to drive traffic. Here's some traffic we drove at an open house up in Temecula. 884 people. This is one of my partners did this. I think our record's just over 1,200 people to an open house, but we need to set our expectations properly. If it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in a community, you're going to drive traffic. If it's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, banged up in a terrible area, it's going to drive less traffic. As long as we're setting up expectations, we're good. That's the reason for that. And one last thing that I want to share with you is be efficient and effective with your business. Every single listing appointment I've gone on since March of 2020 has been via Zoom. Side note, my wife and I just finished a 2-year trip around the country in our RV. I was still taking listings, still closing deals because I was efficient and effective. Now, was I efficient as effective as I 100% could be? No. But when do you get to take 2 years off and go travel the country with your wife and your dog and still do listings? The reason why I say be efficient and effective is that is where I specialize in. I want to help you grow. And if you feel you want to take a look under the hood, I would love to help you. Specialize in FISBOs, expireds, pre-foreclosures, time management, and my whole goal is being efficient and effective and helping my agents. So cool. There's my calendar link. Schedule a time. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, let's get started. I can't wait. I'm super excited. We're ready to go. We've got some good stuff for you, but let me get started first with John Allen wants to give us a quick mortgage minute. John, why don't you go ahead and jump on, my friend? I know I saw you earlier.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm here. Thank you, Robert.
There
I'll
he
try and
is.
I'll
Yeah,
make
there
it
he is.
very
So,
quick.
John, tell us what's going on. What's happening in the mortgage minute?
Well, hello everybody. Thanks, Robert. Couple things that are happening you guys have probably heard of. There's a couple cannonballs recently, which is one, the federal government talking about spending 200 billion in bonds that could impact things. Made a big splash and then it sort of calms down. The other one is they're working on restricting Fannie Freddie agency loans from insuring or securitizing institutional investors on a large scale. That needs to be defined and worked out, but that's again being talked about. So really big moves from 1 year ago, same week last year, 183% higher in applications. This is
Wow.
probably the refinances are booming right now. So folks, be the hero. You could talk to people, talk to your clients, past clients. It's kind of become cliche. I get it, and a lot of people don't like it, but that whole marry the house, date the rate. I'm doing breakups every week now, okay? From they're breaking up at their rate and they're getting that new one. So my entire pipeline that I helped purchase a year ago, we're now lowering their rates. Now, there's been a little volatility. There's some things happening in Japan. But look, macro, I see the rates going down over the next year or two. Um, I'm not guessing, okay? I can look at the Federal Reserve and their plot map and I see the tea leaves, okay? And so we don't know exactly by how much and exactly when, but it's on that trajectory. So it's all about acquisition. And if you can get the loan in, they're good with it for now. Remember, this is the worst your payment's going to be as far as cash flow, as far as affordability. Some people I get it need to wait, but a lot of times it's advantageous to get the acquisition, buy the place. We could work with the rate later, and that's what we're doing every day. So mortgage applications up, macro rates continuing to go down, even with a little volatility. But there's a lot of opportunity out there.
I love it. John Allen, you're the man. Welcome to the
Thank you,
team.
bud.
Super excited. Just to let you know, John and I have known each other a very, 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 very long time. We've done a lot of open houses. John, our first open house together, we had 300 groups through the door. It was so crazy. It's like people were parachuting out of the sky coming into this open house, and then poor Carter, a big old gust of wind comes and blows her off. But anyway, my point is, John, thanks for jumping on, man. You're awesome, and appreciate you being here. So thanks for the mortgage minute.
Of
One
course.
last thing, let's go into let's get Tim Yates on, and let's talk to Tim Yates. Where is Tim Yates? There's Tim Yates. Tim Yates, how you doing, brother? What's going on
I,
over there?
I'm doing great, my friend, and it's good to see John. He's a client of mine and a great guy, so it's wonderful to be on here today.
Hence the mastermind. Tim, tell us real quick. I know we do a lot of stuff Tuesdays at 12 o'clock. We do the Legacy and Listings podcast. Use estate planning to win more listings. Quick intro to that.
Yeah, so I founded an estate planning firm about a decade ago with my wife, Carrie, who's our firm's lead attorney. And we've really just been disrupting the industry by working closely with real estate professionals. We've developed a wonderful system that is really focused on helping agents get more listings. And in turn, we get more estate planning clients. And so it's kind of a win-win. Numbers wise, as you know, Robert, this is a shocking thing to most people when they hear this. But here in the state of California, 87.3% of all homeowners don't have their homes protected by a living trust. So 87.3. So that's 9 out of 10 people in your database that do not have a living trust in place. So the opportunity and potential is huge for us to partner. As you know, we're not selling anything. We're offering great value and opportunities for people to become part of our inner network. And we can explain it in detail at our Tuesday's Legacy and Listings webinar.
Excellent. And this is a free service for agents. Hence, you being here, this is a huge value for agents. You sign up, you get a little engaged on what it is he's doing. It is free, a free tool to reach out to 9 out of 10 of your buyers, sellers, and investors that do not have this service. Thank you, Tim, for jumping on. I encourage everybody to take a shot of this QR code and sign up, and Tim will send you some information. Tim, thank you very much for being on. All right. John Allen, we talked to John. John was a stud. John's always a stud. So let's get right into it. Let me go the other direction. Let's talk about Joe Peterson. And one thing before we get started with Joe, I was reading in the chat box. That's what messed me up. I was laughing. Coach Jay talked about Floyd Wickman. Yes, I was a sweat hog back in the day. And yeah, that is talk about old school. Oh, okay. Well, here's the deal. I'm going to introduce my next guest, Joe Peterson with iList. There's a lot of folks. I consider myself a decently smart guy, not like overwhelmed genius, but a pretty smart guy, and love surrounding myself with folks that are smarter than me. That's what they say you're supposed to do anyway, right? Well, this guy right here is, in my opinion, is a genius. This guy brings it big time. So we're going to talk today to Joe Peterson with iList. He's going to talk about how to get cash offers and win more listings, guys. He's going to help with the psychology behind cash offers, structuring the cash offer conversation, using the cash to create competitive advantage. That's key. That's where the real cash movement came from, is taking those sellers away from being contingent. That's where the cash thing came from. And we're going to go over a whole lot more. So he's going to bust it out today. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to hand it over to Joe Peterson with iList. Joe, how are you doing today, my friend?
Man, I am doing awesome. I thank you for the introduction. I think my wife would disagree with that a lot, but thank you for the introduction. It makes me feel good. But yeah, man, we're gonna have some fun here. So
take it away, dude. You got this.
All right, I am gonna do a screen share, and so y'all hang on for a fun ride. We're gonna go over the cash offer world. And I know Robert's got a special treat for everybody here. If you don't have access to this world, Robert, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you're just going to give access to this world out. So
yes, I put in the chat box, Joe. I put in Perfect. I'm going to copy and paste it because I added it early, just in case. I want everybody to have this. Why don't you explain a little bit exactly what I'm putting in here?
Yeah, so he's giving you access to our institutional offer world, which is one of the first things that we're going to talk about here. I know it says number 3, but we're going to go 3, 2, 1 in this example, because a lot of times when I share number 1 here, our lead identifier tool, which I'm going to hit at a high level for you, YouTube does not necessarily like it because we have a lot of really amazing data. And so if they elect to block something off, I want it to be at the tail end of this. So we're going to go in reverse. We're going to go 3, 2, 1, and we are going to dive in talking about the instant offer world. Now, I'm going to go into one of our little playground accounts here, but I'm going to set the stage for you. The instant offer world, guaranteed offer, cash offer, whatever you want to define that as, is becoming mainstream in real estate. And if you are not the one offering it to your clients, educating your clients on it, newsflash, they're going around you to ask questions and learn about it. And that is the last thing that you want to have happen. You as an agent need to be the source of all information, and that includes institutional cash offers. Now, when I talk to agents, I love having these conversations with agents saying, hey, Robert, let me ask you a question. Why do you not include cash offers into your marketing, outreach, engagement conversations? And we get 2 answers back very, very consistently. Answer number 1 is, I just don't know enough about that world, right? I'm not an expert in it. It makes me nervous. Or number 2, I don't have the time or resources to actually generate multiple offers, multiple cash offers. So here's what we've done. We've removed issue number 1 and 2, and you can now generate multiple offers nationwide in about 5 seconds. I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to have some fun talking about how you can implement this into your world. So that link that Robert shared out to y'all, he is giving y'all access to this world. I'm going to say that probably 5 times because that is massive. If you already have access to this tool, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, take advantage of that. When you click on that link, this is what you're going to have access to, the offer world. Now watch this. We're going to click cash offers. If you can type an address, you can generate multiple offers. So I'm going to come in here. We're going to type in an address. Now it does go a little slower when I'm sharing on Zoom back and forth, but I am taking the most basic piece of information, an address. We're going to confirm it's a real property. We're going to match it against data sources. More importantly, we're going to match it against our institutional buyers and look at what we just created in about 5 seconds. Now, let's go through a couple of scenarios. A lot of you watching this or listening might be going, well, why would I use cash offers? What's the point of cash offers? One, we've already addressed they're becoming more mainstream. How many times have you driven down the road, had the radio on, and you see the billboards, you hear the ads? They're out there. Don't let your customers get sucked into that world. Build them into yours. So let's go through a hypothetical real fast. Let's say, Robert, you're a buy owner, right? Your audience is one of my favorite audiences as well. I love buy owner. And yes, My Plus Leads is amazing. So let's go to a buy owner. Let's pretend this was a buy owner address. I don't have their information, but I know the address. I can do a couple of different things here. I can type in the address, generate offers, right? Or if I do have the phone number because I got it off the sign, I can reach out to this seller and say, hey, my name's Joe. I saw your house was by owner. I actually work with a group of institutional buyers, and they asked me if that your property was still available. Now, I'm going to pause for a second. I did 2 things there, right? So one, I mentioned the word institutional. It's a little different than investors. Number 2, I removed myself from the equation and I said they were curious if it was still on the market. I just lowered the consumer's guard because I want to have a conversation with them. Now, back to the script. She's more than likely going to say, yeah, I mean, we're interested in offers. Bring me an offer. Great. I'll call you back in a couple of hours. It was nice to meet you. I just always like to call and have a conversation first. I set an expectation. So now you can run this address and have offers in 5 seconds. Don't call them back in 5 seconds. Wait a couple of hours, right? Make it feel like you put a lot of work into this. So you're going to reach out. You're going to call them back and say, hey, good news. I actually got 2 or 3 offers on your property. I think you're going to find very interesting. When can we meet? You just set an appointment. That is half the battle, right? If you can set an appointment, you now have the ability to speak to that seller. What are your goals? Why are you selling? Tell me about it. What are you doing? You are setting the seeds to turn that into a listing transaction, right? Because these offers, about 10, 12% of these offers work. That leaves 88, 90% of these offers that don't. But every conversation should turn into a listing style appointment. So we just went to a for sale by owner, which most agents out there they're nervous. Like, what do I say to a buy owner? How do I approach this? We just gave you something very easy to talk about that everybody wants to hear. Oh, you have offers on my property. You can leverage that in several conversations. Let's go one other example before we start diving into the offers. Let's say that this is a listing appointment, right? Robert, I'm going up against you in a listing appointment, right? I'm meeting with a seller. I'm going to bring the same PDF, photos, all of that stuff that every other agent's going to bring. But you know how you can set yourself apart? You can walk into that front door with offers in hand. And you can say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, before we start talking about what going to do for your property, I actually reached out to my institutional buyer network, and I have 3 or 4 offers that we should look at. They might fit your needs. At a minimum, it's going to set a baseline for us to let's get a better offer than that. You now are the expert in their opinion because you walked in with something nobody else did. So those are 2 very simple examples that you can literally use today in conversations. So now let's have some fun and look at these properties and these offers real quick. We took the most basic piece of information and we generated 8 offers on this particular property. Now, not only did you generate offers in the cleanest environment, the simplest way, but we broke it down into 3 categories: single close, dual close, and buy now, sell later, which is one of my favorites. We broke it down into 3 categories, and we have unique buyers in each category. So you remember the 2 excuses we hear from agents a lot? Well, I don't know enough about that world and I don't have access to it. We just made you the expert in this world, and we did it in 5 seconds. So if you're curious who these buyers are, watch this, guys. Click view details. We literally tell you exactly who these buyers are, how they operate, a breakdown of the offer, and we give you the ability to click one button and actually connect with that buyer. So there is no more excuse. I don't have the buyers. I don't know how to do this. We've made it so fast and easy that everybody here can leverage instant offers into any conversation. Now, there are 3 categories, and I'm not going to get into these in detail, but I am going to hit high level for you. Single close is more of a investor offer. They're a little bit lower than others. Why? Because it's just a single transaction. Everybody gets paid, everybody gets their money, and everybody moves on. Dual close, I love dual close because these offers are higher generally, and it involves 2 transactions. Your seller gets to participate in the upside of their property, and this turns into an extra listing for you as an agent, because guess what? When these buyers acquire it, they want you to relist it for them. 2 transactions. Now, a topic that is growing rapidly right now is the buy now, sell later world. How many of y'all, hard to ask a question on a webinar, I'm sorry. Let me just give a hypothetical. You've got a seller who found their dream house, down the street, but they can't make a move on it because they've got to sell their house first, or their offer is not strong as a contingent offer. Well, we work with some great buyers who literally will allow your consumer to buy now, right? Remove the contingency from a lender's perspective, remove the DTI from their mortgage so they can qualify and a lot of times get a little better rate on their new house while you're selling their existing house on the open market. Best of both worlds. And you look like a rock star because once again, you created 2 transactions. You're going to help them buy while you're selling their house, which now, because they left, is clean, vacant, easy to show, easy to sell. So there are so many benefits behind these offers. And the fact that you can access this in under 5 seconds, this is the best offer platform in real estate, hands down. Now, let me show you how to leverage this to 1 degree further, and then we'll move on to the next fun thing here. Let's say I am having a conversation with a seller. Well, I'm going to save this property, and I can add photos, documents. I can really amplify this if I like. But before I walk into an appointment with Robert, my seller, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add an offer, and we can call it open market traditional. Notice it's already populated for you. But on the open market, I think I can get $375 for this house. I know the neighborhood. I'm familiar with it. I can customize my, closing costs, compensations, customize anything you like, and hit create offer. Now look at this. When I'm meeting with a seller now, I can show them what the institutional world looks like and the benefits behind it: speed, simplicity, privacy. Or I can talk to them about maximizing their largest investment where they can possibly make $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 more. My conversation no longer is, will you list with me? My conversation is, what option fits your needs the best? When you can have that type of conversation, you are going to win 9 out of 10 conversations. So when it talks about offers, guys, there is power behind these. They are mainstream. Don't be naive and don't think your sellers don't know what they are. Learn how to leverage these into your world to grow your relationships, conversations, and transactions, because these are awesome deals to do. And if they don't work out into a deal, turn it into a listing opportunity. That's what I love about the instant cash offer world. Fast, easy, ready to go. So Robert, man, I went through that so fast. Is there anything you want to hit on that or circle back before we jump into a few other fun toys here?
You know what? I think the biggest thing that everybody needs to remember is whether you're new and have no idea what you're talking about, scripts are provided for you.
Yep.
It's a simple thing to remember that a seller, whether it's a FSBO, expired, pre-foreclosure, or anyone in your database, they want to sell. They're going to want to at least hear about a cash offer. That gets you in the door. Most sellers are triggered. They're programmed to, hi, I'm calling about your home. Do you have an offer? Bring it to me. It's like that's their response.
Yep.
Well, now, because so many agents said, oh, yeah, I have an offer, and they'll bring their cousin and show the home. No, you don't have to do that. I like it because I can get a cash offer in 3 to 5 minutes. Or excuse me, 3 to 5 seconds. I stand corrected. 3 to 5 seconds, boom, I got a cash offer. Multiple cash offers. And now I have the confidence to have a conversation with a for sale by owner or an expired. And I'm not just every other agent trying to get a listing.
Yep.
This gets your foot in the door, number one. Number two, I think it's important to remember, if you go into a listing presentation, I always like to do it on Zoom. This is beautiful. You can walk them through it. You can show them how quick and easy it is. Boom. But the best thing about it is you're going to get a seller that thinks they want a cash offer. Joe mentioned earlier, I think it's 87, 90, something like 90% do not go with the cash offer. But look at the opportunity you've just presented for yourself. So anyway, exactly. I think it's important to have that. I did drop a link in the chat box. You can check it out. You have access to all this stuff right here, right now. So all you need to do is go in there and check it out. It's something that we're providing for the folks that are jumping on this call. Why don't you let's keep rocking. What other tools do you think that I'm leaving out?
All right, we're going to talk about marketing a little bit. And then we're going to end it with one of my favorite all-time tools is the lead identifier tool. But let's talk about marketing, because what I just showed you a way to come in here and manually add offers. And you can do this unlimited times, right? So once again, finishing this section off, think of the conversations, think of the power in the conversations you can have now and that confidence knowing I can bring you offers on your property. But instead of you manually having to type addresses in, we also load you up with some amazing marketing tools. Now, these marketing tools consist of 3 types. We have landing pages, which are awesome. We'll talk about that. We have email marketing designed to go into your CRM. And then we have some really fun direct mail ones. Now, these marketing tools are designed to be used very easily and quickly, but to allow consumers to come to you. So we're not going to spend a lot of time here, but let me just show you how simple these are. If you wanted to create landing pages, right, you can go to our templates. We have amazing, professionally built templates ready for you to use and customize, ready to go right out of the box. Beautiful ones from text, rotating images, everything, down to simple call to action pages. You can literally access and build unlimited landing pages. Now, let's just open up a page here and let me show you how these pages work. So this is just a simple landing page that was built. As a consumer, I'm going to type in my address and watch. I am not going to have to add my information, answer questions, give you my social media, create a login. I don't have to do any of that, because if your website or the tools you're using require me to register and give you information, those are bounce points. We live in a very untrustworthy society. People are just adverse to giving their information out. And so if you're asking for it, you're creating bounce points. Look what we gave them without asking a single question. We know where they live. We know all the details on their house. Second of all, when we give values, we do not give a static value. That's very dangerous because you don't know what their house is, right? We know a range, but we don't know their house. So watch what we do. We actually give an interactive value page and we allow your consumers to play with the value of their home. So if I just did a pool and a patio and other things, this number looks a lot better than this number. Robert, if this was your website and you showed me only this number and did not give me a way to play with it or adjust it, I would probably discredit everything because it was a definitive static value. You've got to give them choices and the ability for them to engage. Now, the next thing is anybody who's interested in values, you know what else they're interested in? Offers. Check this out. Click one button. You've got multiple offers on this property. You give your consumers a summary view because guess what? Behind the scenes in your world, 1 minute ago, we know exactly who this person is. We know exactly what they clicked on, and you have the detailed offers on your side. They have a summary. You have the details. Why? Because you should be the one educating them on the offers. So our landing pages, use them from values to offers. You can customize them. These are powerful pages ready to go. Social media, email, websites, lots of use cases within these. One thing I love highlighting, sometimes I forget this, so I made it a point to highlight this. Guys, if you're using a basic website, for example, a basic website, notice this is focused on buyers. Well, how many of y'all would rather work with sellers versus buyers? Every single one of you should have your hand up. Sellers, 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 listings, listings, listings. What about this website right here makes me think that I even focus on sellers? Nothing. Watch what we do for your website. We take a standard website like this and we convert it to something that looks like this. Are you a buyer? Are you a seller? Or do you want offers? Buyer, seller, offers. Think how powerful that is. So if I go back in here, we can enhance your website for you. If you're smart and you know, if you're technical, you can do this on your own or just let our team do it for you. So from utilizing landing pages to enhancing your website, guys, make sure your tools focus on the audience you want to. Next thing, email marketing. If you have a CRM, right, and you have a CRM connected, pick your CRM. If you have a CRM connected, we give you automation designed to go into your CRM so you can send out emails that look like this. And guess what? When your homeowners, when your leads, when your database clicks on this email, it already knows their address because we're integrated with your CRM. It just fetches it. It populates it. So we do not have to ask your database question. We simply find hand raisers. So Robert, imagine going out to your database of thousands of people and sending out home valuation emails, instant offer emails. Think of the hand raisers you can find, and it gives you something valuable to send out. So these marketing tools, guys, are so fast, so easy, so simple to use, but it's really important. Like, you don't just rely on yourself solely to add addresses and get offers. You can do that all day and it works great, but leverage your tools and automation and allow consumers to come to you. These marketing tools are built in and they are incredibly easy to use. Now, Robert, I'm going to shift into the aha moment one. Speaking of marketing, anybody here who is doing anything in the marketing world, I highly recommend you starting with the feature I'm about to show you. You've got to start with making sure you are capturing the best of the best data. Did you know that on your existing website, your online world, we are trained to think that a 3 to 5% capture rate is good. 3 to 5%. I don't know about you, but that does not get me very excited, right? 3 to 5%. We have a feature that you can add to your website, which is going to allow you to capture 20 to 25% of visitors looking at your world. That gets me excited. So I'm going to go into a real life experience here and show you what I'm talking about. So this is a real life agent. Let me come down here to just a fun little page. Let's look at Carl. I know nothing about Carl, but here's what I can tell you. Carl was a visitor on this agent's website. Carl did not raise his hand, ask a question, and fill out a form, meaning Carl was a missed opportunity. Somebody looking at your online world that you had no idea even existed. So we find their information, emails, names, verify, opt-in, DNC. We find it all for you. We tell you how long they were on your website. We tell you how many pages and what pages they were looking at. And get this, we even show you a recording of exactly what they were doing on your website. So in this case, this person went straight to a meet the team, and look, they're looking at teammates of the site. Very, very interesting. So we have an unknown visitor looking at your website who's researching your team. Guys, if somebody's looking at your team like that intently for over a minute, they're looking to transact. They're actually wanting to learn about agents. Let's find one more just for fun here. Let's come down here and look at Margaret. Margaret, once again, an unknown lead, completely missed by this agent. We have names, emails on your website for 37 seconds, looked at 2 pages. Here they are. Let's see what our friend Margaret here was doing. Right? Margaret, literally looking at houses on this agent's website. Ooh, she paused. Let's see what happens. She clicks on a house. Ooh, forced registration. That's a no-no. She keeps going. She's going to click again. So she's really interested in that price point and that neighborhood, right? So now we can come in here because you do not have Margaret's information. Now you do. Think of the value that I can now add to Margaret. Hey, Margaret, I saw you looking at ABCD. That's a great neighborhood. I'm local. I'm an expert. How can I help? By the way, here's 5 other properties with photos. She's looking at your world, trying to do something. Think of the value that you can add. It is a amazing tool. And so when it comes to leads and marketing, make sure you have your foundation set. Don't just rely on a 3 to 5% capture ratio. That's not exciting, right? That's a very expensive way to grow your business. What if you could capture 20 to 25%? That's how you can grow and scale. And now you can layer anything you want to on top of it. All right, Robert, we have covered offers.
So did I tell you this is going to be huge or what? I got to be honest. I was sitting here taking notes. I've seen this multiple times, and every single time I'm taking notes. I'm sitting there having conversations with people. This is awesome. And I totally forget that I'm hosting the webinar. So you know what I'm telling you? This is, guys, I don't know if you quite see the value. I hope you do, because it's pretty bitchin'. To be able to reach out to a for sale by owner, it takes a lot of confidence to have a conversation with a for sale by owner for an expired. It takes confidence. Now you have the confidence. Reach out to somebody with what they're looking for. And they're looking for offers. They're not looking for you to list their home. They're looking for offers, multiple offers. And this is a great tool. So hopefully you guys take advantage of it. Joe, you did fantastic. And I was sitting there reading the comments, and there's somebody in there that says, I'm not a techie. And you answered it beautifully. Because I'm not a techie. I don't know landing pages. I mean, I know what they are. I just don't know how to do them.
Yep.
But you don't need to. This system does it for you. So if you want to get techie, there's a lot of stuff. This thing is powerful. Like any good CRM, this tool right here is very powerful. And tell us a little bit about your trainings and your constant support and all that, because that's where I see I have agents. I've had you on a number of times. It's always been my most popular podcast. Um, but agents, they sign up for it, then they don't do anything with it because they don't plug in. It's like if you
Yeah.
have a Tesla, it's a great car, but if you don't plug it in, it's not
You're
going
not
to
going to
go
go anywhere.
anywhere.
Yeah.
So tell us about your support. That's huge. You guys have the
Yep.
best support I've seen.
We've got awesome support. So if you come into our support and chat, one, you can see that we have videos on everything, right? And there's two types of learners out there. People that want to watch a video, click through, do it themselves. Great. You can see that we have videos on everything that you can follow step by step. We also have onboarding where you can join multiple onboardings. We do them twice a week at different times to make it easy. Join onboardings. They're done with our team directly. And our goal is to make sure you know what you have access to and how to take simple steps to implement it. So we try to make sure that it is awesome. We also have a great Facebook group. Join us. We go live. We typically go live twice a week for a couple of different audiences, but we'll post when we go live. And it's just to go over features. It's to have conversations like this and say, hey, does anybody need any help? Or I love doing this. Does anybody have any ideas, things that we could help add on to this to grow it better? So we love having conversations with that. Last but not least, we also have a great support team where you can chat directly with our team right here. We love doing little video calls back and forth. You can tell I'm a very visual learner. And so we try to kind of implement that through everything we do. But Robert, you said it. The hardest part about this is not really getting going. Once you know where things are at, everything's pretty much built for you. You just got to know where they're at. And then you've also got to have a plan, right? We get approached by a lot of agents that say, hey, this is amazing. I don't know where to start. So it always helps if you have a plan. And that's the first thing that we always ask agents is, Robert, what is your goal? Like, because we can start here, but what is your goal, right? And Robert, you would very specifically, you would say, my goal is to leverage this for buy owners. Well, great. Guess what? We have a simple starting point now that you can expand upon. But if you come into something, anything, not just this, without a single mindset of how you want to use it, it makes it harder to get started. So I encourage everybody, play with it. Think about the audiences. How do you want to grow your business? And then we can help cater this into your world.
Well, you know what? I tell you this, we do have some questions in the chat box. I want to make sure we get to them.
Oh, here we go.
First question from Felix. I know we talked about this, and I want to bring it up again because it's important. I'm not a tech person. Do I need my own website? What I like about this, Joe, you just showed our IDX website for Jeff.
Yep.
It's got all the buy, sell, invest. It's got all the options. It doesn't replace anything. It's more of a bolt-on to what we already have. So I don't have to go learn something totally new. It's making what I already should know better.
Yep. And if you don't have a website, which a lot of agents don't for whatever reason, right? If you don't have a website, we have landing pages that you can use right now on your domain. Like without even having
that's what I was trying to get to right here is not everybody has a website. You showed somebody that does have a website. I couldn't tell you the first thing of how it works. I just know you push this button, this button, this button, things make it happen.
Yep.
This landing page, you don't have to create it as an agent. You just easy plug and play and you're ready.
Exactly right.
Super
exactly
easy.
right.
Good.
And you can use custom domains if you want to, or everything comes with a domain already built for you. So really it's just it's up to you, right? There's no requirements for that world. So
I love it.
If you have your own domain and you're really particular on branding, great. Let's add it. Keep that branding. I'm a huge fan of branding, but if you don't, it's not needed. You can set your own subdomain in here and be ready to rock and roll. Hector, you're spot on. Using this within your CRM, you could go out to, I'm just using your example here, like some old expired, right? You could take a cash offer tool, go out, craft your own email, hey, hate to see your house off the market, something like that. I've got buyers looking. I have multiple offers. Click here to see them. Like I'm not even selling my house, but I would click that out of curiosity, you know? And so you can craft emails like that. Your CRM should be a powerhouse where you can target different audiences, but you can work with these within your CRM.
Yeah, and I can second that, Joe. I think uh, the power of reaching out. Again, I put My Plus Leads in there. I recommend you check it out. There's a 14-day free trial if
Yep.
it works. But do this. Don't sign up and do nothing with it. Because here's what happens. They sign up, agents sign up, and they don't do anything for like 13 days. And then, oh, it didn't work because you didn't do it. So
Yeah.
only sign up when you're ready to get going so you can really test drive it. So check it out. FSBO's expired pre-foreclosures. I think the biggest thing to take away from this, Joe, is give me a tool to get in front of more sellers. And
Yep.
you need to make sure that we're doing that. So it doesn't matter who you're prospecting. Obviously, prospect the lowest hanging fruit on the seller tree. That is FSBO expired pre-foreclosures, working with attorneys, working with builders, working with your sphere of influence, your circle of influence, being the mayor of your community, whatever. But reach out to able and willing sellers, because sellers, Joe, turn into more sellers. Other
Yep.
sellers see and they see what you're doing. I've had sellers come to me, see that big line of people and go, oh my God, I want this, whatever. And they're pointing to the open house. So listings create more listings, more buyers, more investors, and more agents if you're growing your team. So huge tool. Any closing remarks you'd like to add?
I'll answer Hector's question real quick. Hector, you could take any template we have, right? Pick one that just fits your eyeball. You can build unlimited ones. But let's say that you wanted to turn this into a expired page, right? And you wanted to change this text to better fit expireds. Every landing page we have, it's built automatically, ready to use right now. But if you wanted to get, have some fun and customize it, we actually give you the unlocked code. So Hector, you could scroll down here and find the text that you want to update, change it, hit save, and guess what? You just created a custom page. So it's pre-built, but yes, you can always go in there and customize these for services, audiences, anything you like. So
And Lorena mentioned she didn't have a website. We took care of that. You got the landing pages. Hector mentioned creating a page for expired. Bingo, awesome opportunity. But I want to do a quick shout out unrelated to questions and answers. I want to welcome Candace to the team. She joined yesterday. And a quick shout out to Candace. Thanks for being here. She's on Jeff's team out of Orange County. Super excited to have you aboard.
see me using Jeff's toys.
What's that?
You see me using Jeff's sites. I always
Yeah,
love showing it when
that's
I'm
good.
playing
I
with
like
this.
it.
There we go. There's the man.
Yeah,
Jeff
I saw it come up. Yeah, I'm pretty new in the industry. I was a registered nurse for 20 years, so really excited.
Cool. Well, welcome. Joe, let's do this. We've got a couple of minutes. I went through some questions. Let's open it up. Any Q&A real quick while we've got Joe on. This is a powerful platform. Any questions for Joe, Tim Yates, John Allen? Remember, Tim Yates, guys, a tool in your tool belt should be estate planning, big time. 9 out of 10 people don't have it. It's a great conversation starter. John Allen, I'm telling you what, one of the smartest lenders I know, knows the market. That's why we go into the mortgage minute. I encourage you to reach out to John. And last but certainly not least, our special guest today, Joe Peterson with iList. Any closing remarks for our folks on the call?
Use the tools, right? Don't let your clientele go around you to find this. You have everything. It's fast, easy. Just use it. Build it into your daily world.
Amen to that. Well, you know what, guys? It's been an absolute pleasure. We're at the top of the hour. I want to thank you all for joining us live in studio. I want to welcome everybody. Hector will get right with you. I want to welcome everybody at home, watching it on our YouTube channel or listening to in your car on your way to that next listing appointment, driving with your knee, doing your phone and doing all that. But check it out. It's going to be awesome. So get back to us every single Wednesday for the weekly masterminds. Every Wednesday. Next week, we have two of some of the most amazing coaches in the industry. We have Coach Joseph Limo and Lawrence King with the Alliance. They're going to give us, they're bringing their mastermind to us the how-to real estate mastermind. So you got to jump on for that. So it's going to be great. That's Wednesdays, 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. You can join us live via Zoom. MoreNowListings.com. This is Robert Weichelt for another episode of the More Listings Mastermind. Those in the studio audience, stick around. We'll be right with you. But I want to thank everybody for jumping on. Join us every Wednesday. And remember,